Hey folks, it's Mark here, host of your Redbelly podcasts. We do the insights ones. The last one that you would have seen was with Raise and Ferox. That was a banger. We saw all about tokenizing commodities and all about fake world assets versus what is real. We are continuing with that with a partner spotlight. This time I've got Amir here from Metawealth. Amir, thank you so much for joining us from across the world.
Thanks, Mark. I'm glad to be here, and I'm looking forward to having this podcast with you.
Mate, fantastic. We were talking before in the prep. Now, can you tell the audience whereabouts in the world you are from, or where you are now? Sorry, because that moves like it seems.
Yeah, right now I'm in Bucharest, Romania. We have three offices for Metawealth: London, Spain, and Romania. And I just drift between the three. We have a big team, and it's great to build this powerful platform in Europe right now.
I've got to say it is definitely a powerful platform. I can't wait for what the audience, and the Red Belly community gets to see over time. But just let's take a step back because we can really dive down the rabbit hole pretty quickly. But if you can just do a little bit of introduction for us for people that may not have heard about MetaWealth, and even before that, who are you and how did you get started? What's the pedigree that you've got there, Amir?
Yeah, so at MetaWealth, we're empowering people to own their financial future. The way it started back in 2022, my co-founders and I met for 2022 resolution, and we were looking at the space. We have seen NFTs going up and down, and at the same time, we also saw GameStop and AMC. Obviously, people quite bought a lot in those. But again, it just went up for a little bit of time and then it just crashed. I was actually working at one of the leading fintech companies back then, and I saw all of it happening. And I saw 85% of people were losing their money back then. So I did not feel quite right about it. And I met with my co-founders. I was explaining this problem to them. I said, yeah, you know what? It's because people are not investing in fundamentals. They invest in hypes. They just saw actually something happening. All the news happening about AMC, all the news happening about GameStop, all the news happening about NFTs, and they just bought. They just don't understand what's behind it. And they said, the real investors, like the actual people who actually invest in and build generational wealth, they actually invest in assets like real estate. So that kind of triggered a light bulb for me. I decided to actually do a bit of market research and understand where kind of people invest. And it was to my surprise, I wasn't actually thinking that way back then, but it was to my surprise that 68% of wealth globally is stored in real estate. So, I just took a bit of time to digest that because I was looking through, life thinking that the way to make money is through stocks and through, startups and so on. But it turned out that the wealthy and the rich people actually invest in assets like real estate. So what we done then is that the three of us decided to look deeper into that, and we decided or we've been thinking about can we make real estate available for retail people? Can we make it available for most people where they can actually invest in without having to understand the fundamentals and still get all the impact for it? What we realize is that people need first a platform that's affordable, a platform that is secure, a platform that is seamless to use. And that is how we built Metawealth in a way that you can actually invest in real estate from any part of the world for as little as 100 USDC.
That's pretty damn amazing. And before, as we were prepping for this, you told me a bit of a story, and I didn't realize this because I've seen MetaWealth, but before that, and you were working for that leading fintech. I think it was in Canada that you said, but even before then, you were in Silicon Valley as all of these big name companies right now. You saw these places. Can you tell the audience a bit more about that? Because I find that fascinating.
Yeah, the story actually is I think I got lucky. I've been in startups my whole life. Since like 14, I knew I wanted to do startups. Even like back in when I was 14, like my father had a small shop, and there was next to it like a computer shop, and I was just like closing the my father's shop. Yes, like just going to the computer shop and learning about computers, learning about like how would that do. The first startup I was involved in was called actually Meta. And what happened is that was back in 2016. What happened is that Mark Zuckerberg actually acquired that startup, and we moved to the Silicon Valley. And then this is how kind of Facebook became Meta. So I can say like I'm one of maybe 30 people who can actually claim that they've been at Meta before Mark Zuckerberg himself.
That is not bad, or that your company was acquired by Meta. I'm sure there's
Yes,
more
exactly.
now than before, but there's not many people in the world. You're the first that I've met that can say that. But it's fascinating because you saw Silicon Valley and what it was growing up to be, and I think you're here at this very apex of where we're heading with tokenized assets. And I think
Yep.
we'll dive into it further. And you gave us a bit about what the company is doing. But how did your journey, we're in the Web3 blockchain and real world asset space, and you're solving this problem there for people. But what have you kind of let's dive into like what you've seen in these first couple of years, because it said it was 2022.
Yep.
What kind of things have you observed that you could share with the audience, and then we'll dive into the Redbelly partnership.
Yeah. I can tell you the following though, even though it's been 3 years right now, we're still like on day one. Like that's how actually massive this space is. When we're talking about tokenization of real world assets, we're talking about real estate, private equity, we're talking about renewable energy, we're talking about commodities, and all of these things are actually right now the only way to access it is through TradFi platforms. The thing about TradFi is that it's actually built still on technology that is from the 80s, where you have to go through centralized banks and middle framework to actually be able to execute a strategy, or to execute an investment. And even then, you still have to deal with tremendous amount of paperwork, and still have to actually have quite a lot of capital to be able to do so. Not to mention liquidity, not to mention settlement. Like you still have quite a lot over there. What we've been seeing in the past 3 years is a lot of actual institutions are taking a leap of faith and highlighting all these benefits I just described and more, to be able to bring those to the users. And I've seen quite a lot of papers coming from JP Morgan, from Goldman Sachs, from Apollo, highlighting all these benefits, and they do have teams right now working on it. I'm quite excited to see what would this mean to our users. I think we just starting to unlock all these benefits as early as this year, like 2025, where we've seen more DeFi benefits are coming for the TradFi platforms. By that I mean, just to kind of give some examples. In a TradFi world, if you actually invest in real estate, you more likely just going to watch it, and you'll not be able to do much with that investment that you've done. In a DeFi world, what you can do is actually take the investment, and then you probably can use it as collateral. Maybe you can actually trade it. Maybe it just becomes like actually more dynamic for you. It can bring you extra yield that you actually haven't gotten from TradFi. So all of this is being unlocked right now, and we're talking about a space that has over $900 trillion. So there's not going to be like one player that's just going to dominate all of this. There's going to be like actually like a whole ecosystem that work together to unlock this. And Metawealth and Redbelly are that collaboration and partnership is going to bring some of these aspects that we just talked about to life. And I'm excited to see what would that do to both our users.
You highlight a very interesting point there at the start. You know, the TradFi in the 80s. So just get people to picture like suspenders, Wall Street type thing, Gordon Gecko. Um, a lot of centralization still to this day. And the biggest thing, man, spreadsheets. People don't realize just how much of the TradFi world runs on Microsoft Excel and probably not even the latest version, right? So all these spreadsheets, and we know just how through immutability, through the multiple nodes, just how much better a system that blockchain and decentralized technology provides. It's almost a no-brainer, but there's a lot of work to break down those systems, right? So we'll talk about all of that, but let's talk about the partnership. How did this partnership with Redbelly come about? Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, I think looking back at it, we saw like the rise of Redbelly in 2025, beginning of 2025. And my co-founder Darren and I looked at it and was like, looked at it deeper. Obviously, like everyone has their own news tracker, right? So when you hear tokenization, you just like watch these things, right? So Red Valley came to our radar, and we decided to kind of dig deep into it. We found quite a lot of similarities between what Red Valley is trying to do and our mission. And we found also like a platform that enable us to deliver our mission of helping people and achieving financial independence. So we reached out to Tim, and we decided to have a conversation with him. It took some time to kind of see all, because partnership is not just like a one meeting thing, right? So you talk more about it. We met in person in New York, talked it further than that. That is when everything kind of became clear that we actually on the same path. Red Belly is going to enable us to actually deliver our mission to as many people as possible. Red Belly is thinking about its users first. Red Belly is not just about like fast transactions. It's about delivering real value to the users, helping them with build portfolios, bring in real world assets to them, at the tip of their fingers. So it was just clear to us that we need to actually have this partnership as soon as possible. So we decided to kind of give it a pilot, and see like where would that go. And I don't want to give too much details, but it's, the new project that we've been working on is coming to life very soon.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great when we get to talk about that. But you mentioned something there that I think it's really important for people to understand. They saw Tim, Alan, and Arturo head over there as part of the team, along with Allison and others, to go to New York and be at this conference. There were multiple kind of talks. We saw something on Tokenize This. There was the and the overall kind of main real world assets conference that was there. But people need to realize that they were doing meetings with you as well. They were doing meetings with multiple people. What you are showing us and we're talking about today is the culmination of what was started as part of a conversation many months ago, met in real life, as you said, a few months ago, and starting to come to life now. And, when we get to see the pilot, that's going to be great. What does this partnership mean for your company, for Metawealth?
It means quite a lot. It means that we're actually like going to dig deeper, into unlocking more features to our users. It means that we can actually bring more DeFi benefits to our users. It means that people can build diversified portfolios, on Metawealth. So it's quite important for us actually to pull this through, and to it's critical to our mission to actually bring all these benefits to our users. And Redbelly unlocks all of this for us.
No, that's great. And you said already some great things about Redbelly there. But let me just go back to like that around the question of choosing to work with Redbelly Network. What are some of the other things that stood out for you, apart from like you saw some research, you spoke with other people, but what are some of the other things that maybe you didn't get to mention that stood out particularly for you?
Yeah, we met like maybe 10 partners. Like I would say like we're not actually like there's lots of people out there. So we only chose Redbelly like to work with, like outside of like all these different partners. um the first thing is obviously like highlighting true value to the users. That was quite important for us to know there's a platform that is revolutionary, that is just focused on RWAs. Was quite important for us because that means that we are moving in the right direction over there. To know that they actually built because Tim also showed me like a demo of some of the apps that were built over there, to show like how fast they moving on that to deliver that their mission, Red Bell mission to their users, was quite impressive for us. To know the people behind the platform, to know Tim, to know Al, to know Deepak, to know you, like all of this was quite important because we've seen a lot of platforms over there, like in general, that people are just hiding behind a mask. And if you're delivering like actual investment platform, you need to be out there fighting for the users. You need to be actually showing that it's quite important for your users are quite important for you, that you're actually taking care of their money, that you're actually taking care of their security, all of that, right? The also the infrastructure and the engineering behind Redbelly was quite impressive for us. Um, we talked to Deepak, understood like everything related to it. We understood that this is a platform that can actually manage billions of dollars and maybe further than that. So it was all of this was quite important for our decision to actually partner with Redbelly.
No, that's really good. And speaking of the partnership, and those are really some great points there. What are some of the goals that you wish to or you hope to achieve together as part of this?
Working together to bring this mission to as many people as possible. We want I tell you what, like personally, like if you actually to ask me personally, I have family, I have friends. I'm not coming from like a wealthy family. I'm coming from a family where my father and my mother like worked super hard, and they at some point worked paycheck to paycheck and tried to support us and try to actually give me and my siblings like a better future and so on. That is what drives me. Like I don't want people to kind of keep grinding that way, live paycheck to paycheck. I want to build a platform that really help people achieve financial independence. And the way to that I feel like we can do this, is to bring them opportunities that they can invest in and continue to build generational wealth that way. And that is like real estate, renewable energy, real world assets in general. So that is what drives me, and that is what I hope to achieve with partners like Redbelly and with the Metawealth employees, and with every partner that we trying to secure.
I think that that's that will resonate with a lot of people. There's a lot of people in the community that are, they're hardworking individuals. They work
Yep.
in many places around Australia and the world, and they're looking for these opportunities to, create and not just be stuck in the only ways of wealth that they have, which seem limited, but they also don't want to work in a space where it is, sorry, they don't want to just have a space where there is, uh, let's call it fake world assets, okay? Because we saw that raised with Ferox and the Raise podcast that we had the other week, where they've seen things where things will get listed on chain, but there's not much behind it. There's not much in terms of the contracts. There's not much in terms of the workflows behind it, and we do see this, and I think that there's not much that needs to be done. They will collapse in and of themselves, but where you're actually doing something that breaks that mold and actually provides like real value to people, it's going to be a really big thing. So let's go into the platform that you guys have. Can you walk us through, just in like simple terms, just for people that are new to it, tell us about the product and the platform of Metawealth, please?
Yeah. What we do for people is that we bring them beautiful assets, real estate assets as of now, that we ourselves actually vetted. We have a very experienced real estate team that has over 25 years of experience, just like investing and developing real estate. So what we do is we use that experience to source these assets. We try to find assets that we can get in bulk that has a discount on them. Sorry, we bring a discount on them, and also we know can bring some yield, some good yields for them. So we target like about 18% yield for the users annually. And then we put it on our platform, and the user then get to see it. So you right now from Australia get to actually see the asset on our platform. If you Everything is highlighted there, the important things about it, the package, the projections, the investment terms, all of that is highlighted for you. It's within the app. You just scroll down, you like all of that, and then if you like it, you can actually just hit the invest button. You can start for as little as 100 USDC. You don't have to actually have like 50,000 or 100,000 USDC to actually invest. You can start for literally just 100 USDC. You click the invest button, and within like 30 seconds, you're now an investor in a real estate in Rome, in Greece, in Spain, or in Italy in general. So that's kind of like how it works. And then now that you have this investment, in a monthly basis, we start like the investment start working for you basically. So we actually manage the investment, and we start paying you yields on a monthly basis, or according to the investment strategy, which could be quarterly or could be like on an annual basis. And then you use that yields later on if you want to exit, take it to your bank account, or if you want to reinvest it, that's also an option for you.
Yeah, it's just amazing that you've made it so accessible for this kind of stuff. And there's no doubt, because like you said, it's a $900 trillion market out there for all of these assets. What makes what you guys do, your approach, different from others in the space?
That we always put the user needs first. We have actually a culture that like it's actually goes to like a personal it's like my personal pain. I wanted to actually do this for people. It goes back to like why I also, like I said, like I've been in startups my whole life. First startup, yes, it was actually with Meta. Second startup, it was actually a part of YC summer school and also Techstars. I didn't feel like very passionate about. I needed to actually find something I'm truly passionate about. This is where I feel like we actually bring in the value. This is where I feel I'm touching people's life. This is where I feel like I can help people go beyond actually living paycheck to paycheck and delivering like more, like you said, accessible, easy to understand investments that actually get them generational wealth. That's what we're trying to get to them. That is what not just drives me. That drives what the whole company. When we built the startup, we actually put leadership principles that everyone needs to live and breathe, and one of them is customer obsession. So we are all about delivering value to the users. It's all about protecting their money. It's all about making sure that we actually can deliver that 18% or more that we like you can't say promise and invest in, but that we highlight. This is all like our approach. We're not there just to make revenue. We're trying to actually build a great startup, great company that delivers true value to the users.
I think that's fantastic. And
Well, literally like all the experience in that, because like when you build startups, you get scars here and there and there and there. And
yeah,
so, like this is my fourth or fifth startup where I'm just like harnessing all the learnings I've done in the past and just putting it here to work for bringing this value to the users.
amazing. And speaking of users, like who would you say are the primary like users and customers and all that?
Like again, like we're still in day one, right? So it's hard to highlight, because in real estate has not been accessible to most people. So when you tell them like you can invest in real estate and it's affordable and so on, like you won't get retail users right away. Like it's going to take them some time to understand, yeah, I can invest in real estate. The ones that are actually like it's clicking with right now, it's people who are really invested in real estate before, people who build portfolios with Airbnb or other assets, where they just need like a white glove solution. They don't want to actually have to do the management themselves, sourcing the assets themselves, and so on. And then they can invest in all of this. The other one, which goes back to what you were saying earlier, like where we at with tokenization. We've seen a lot of financial institutions actually be coming to the space, and yes, there's actually all these talks with Bittle, which gives people like 4 to 5%. There's also as strategies, hedge fund strategies that also promise people like 5 to 9, 10%. They are looking for something that's a bit on a safe side, that promising something similar or better. And with our platform, because we're our projection is 18%, they like that, and we actually were able to secure some institutional capital within these assets. Retail is coming. I believe that we do have like quite a lot of retail investors, in Metawealth. But I'm actually quite excited about Redbelly, because I do believe that with the exposure that the Redbelly users have right now, we will get more people across the world to actually invest in this asset, and will also bring the mission to life.
I agree with you there, because I can certainly say that from just like the community chat and conversations that you see online from the last podcast we did, where we were talking about commodities, tokenized commodities. There were people that probably have never touched commodities in their life apart from buying ETFs, or
Yep.
like maybe investing in a company or an ETF that has a commodities company in it rather than directly the assets. So new world for them. Silver was doing like a major run up in the last couple of years in the TradFi kind of space. Typically, people wouldn't have an opportunity to invest in that, but by making those barriers of entry easier for instos, like you said, or for retail, I think it's fascinating, man. So on
I'm
on
gonna.
that, yeah, go ahead,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Man, like when I started this, like obviously, like I started to look into real estate. I'm like, what the heck is this? It just there's so much information there. It's like, well, what am I gonna make the decision on? Is it based on this? How am I going to actually do the projections? It's actually quite complex. Like it's safe investment. It actually can bring you a lot of money, but it's also hard to understand if it's your first investment over there. So being able to actually simplify it in terms that people understand, and being able to show the projections accurately, is quite important, because as they say, the devil in the details in assets like this. Imagine, like, not all assets are the same either, right? An asset, for example, in let's say USA is different than an asset in Europe, right? And even the financial legal structure behind like something over there is different than something in Europe. So all of this needs to be taken into consideration by like any real estate investor, right? And I'm quite happy with being able to actually deliver all of this to our users.
It's a very interesting point, because this is the thing, like people might see that, oh, hey, I hear about this company, but unless you actually have a platform that's breaking it down and helping users understand that there are these differences in obligations and rights that you get from investing in real estate or any kind of asset in different jurisdictions, there's special nuance to it. And I think without understanding that, because people have day jobs, they don't have all the time, having platforms that help break that down, I think is certainly something that people need to be looking at. And it sounds like, so you guys are doing that kind of thing at Metawealth, yeah?
I mean, that's what we're planning to do, and that's like what you just said is like I would say an advice I would give to any builder on RWAs, just it's not just about the asset, it's about like how can you actually present that asset to the users in a way they can understand.
Yeah, and it's a very good point. It shouldn't just be like we talk about blockchain and the use of blockchain technology, not just to put something on chain, then expect that all of a sudden we're going to get a lot of users and liquidity in. It doesn't just, it's not a magic tap, it's not a magic faucet, as some people might term it. But thinking about blockchain as a way to provide more access, which you guys are doing, to make things more efficient in terms of the process and the ethos of blockchain, as well as, yes, there will be new capital that comes in. I think that is very important. And, speaking of the community, just jumping to the next part here, which is like the benefits to the community. And I know that there's still some things where, there's still the pilot and other things to be announced like later on. But like, what can community just expect from this collaboration? What can you say about that so far?
I would say the most important thing is that it's not just the exposure to, I mean, obviously exposure to real estate, exposure to assets that are affordable to them, that they can actually get quite a good yield from it. But the most exciting thing for me, personally, is actually the innovation stuff that is going to come because of this. There's quite a lot of conversation right now that happened with Redbelly about the DeFi products that we can offer after the investment. So, for example, being able to take a loan against this token, that's quite important. Being able to use it as collateral, that's quite important. Building an RWA a marketplace around that, that's quite important. Being able to stake it, that's quite important. So all of these things are mainly DeFi products that we are building. It's on our roadmap right now, and we are on a weekly, conversations with Redbelly to actually bring it to life to our users. And to me, that's actually where I'm most excited about, because yes, we were able to build a better platform than TradFi for real estate that you can invest in real estate very simply. But I'm quite excited, for all the extra yield that people are going to get, because they can use or utilize their token as much as possible. Like literally, if you want to, just use a single, terminology for it, which is like, how can you get the most out of $1? Like that's what we're trying to do for them.
I think that that's great, and it's really interesting. Like you said, the weekly conversations thing. People need to realize here that there is a lot of activity underneath the hood with not just Redbelly itself and all the engineering and all the sales. And going back, if you missed it, folks, like you met Tim and Alan and the crew when they went to New York to then be able to take this further, because it started off with conversations to begin with, but meeting in person is very important. But that activity plus the weekly conversations that you're having, there's a lot of activity, and by doing these shows, partner spotlights, etc., we want to highlight to people that there is a lot of this kind of stuff going on, because I think for a long time people were wondering what's going on underneath the hood. So it's really nice to have you here mentioning these things that I actually want to highlight. And this has not been prepped, folks. I haven't told Amir to say this. So thanks for highlighting that those truths there, and for what the community can expect. Now, I'm not sure how much you can say about this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. But will there be any, joint campaigns, airdrops, integrations, other benefits for users? What can you say right now?
You put me on a spot here. Yeah, yes, there will be. There's actually both our marketing team are working together right now on a daily basis to actually bring some campaigns to life. There are some quite exciting rewards coming as well. I can't say much about it, but stay tuned for in the Redbelly channel and the Metawealth channel for more news on that.
No, that is perfect. I think that is enough. I just wanted to make sure people can hear that, and the community would go, "Why didn't you ask about this?" Well, I've asked, so hopefully that is enough for them for now. But you're right, the marketing teams are working hard together. So looking forward to what as we say with folks, just stay tuned. So they will be very much like watching this. So I think there's good incentives for both marketing teams to get something brought to life there. Now, if people want to just like, let's say, start engaging with the platform, I know that you said it's early, but at least with engagement, what do you suggest that they do?
Our team is mostly active on X right now, so I suggest they actually drop us messages over there. We do also have Telegram, same handler at Metawealth, in which we can always, people with any questions can actually like come and engage with us over there. Or they can reach, to me personally on X as well. So these are kind of the main channels.
No, that's perfect. Let's go to a looking ahead kind of thing. And every team, every builder, sometimes I wear that hat, sometimes I'm a podcast host, but we've got roadmaps. What do you see as like coming up on your roadmap?
I tell you what, the way I see it is like, again, like I just wanna, like thinking about it from a a user perspective, like what else the user wants. We can build like all these beautiful things, but if there's no users, like it doesn't make any sense. Like that's how we do it. So we prioritize our roadmap based on like what is most important to the users right now. The way we see it right now with the feedback that we got from our users, obviously like investing is number one, which is people already invested with us. We have over like right now, I believe over 160 different projects and a total assets under management of over 50 million right now. So it's quite an achievement, I would say, for 1 year. And then the second thing is the passive income piece. We were able to actually distribute passive income to people. This is the most important metric for me. Again, like because of this, because like when we say like we empower people to achieve the financial independence, it means like what extra capital you're able to generate for them. So we generated over 1 million USDC for our investors right now, which is quite good. As for what is coming next, it's enabling those asset tokens that the users are actually invested in. Better security, more like legal structure around it. That's quite important because we want to make sure that it's a secure, safe investment. And the features are coming. The first one that is coming is staking. So people will soon be able to stake their asset tokens and get actual extra yield for that. The second one after that is what we call baskets, in which people will be able to. It's like think of it as like a mini fund. Someone can actually create a mini fund that they can say this mini fund investment strategy is investing in real estate, investing in renewable energy, investing in T-bills and so on. And someone can say, I'm interested in that. I'm just going to invest in it. So this is also coming on our platform. An RWA marketplace, unified RWA marketplaces is the third thing that is coming. Basically, think of it this way: you're gonna have different assets, real estate, gold, renewable energy, private credit, all of that, right? We build in a place in which you can actually just list them anywhere in that platform, and people can, again say like, my portfolio right now is quite heavy on real estate. I want to actually get some, gold or some renewable energy and so on, and they can just go to the marketplace and get that. And another one that is coming as well as insurance, assets insurance. So people will be able to actually take insurance on these asset tokens as well. Again, like we're thinking about it from a safety perspective to the users. And asset-backed loans is another thing that we're working with lenders and partners and also Redbelly quite heavily on this topic. I even have like after this I have a call with Tim just to actually talk about that. So it's also coming very soon. So these are the major, I would say, themes that we're thinking about to bring to our users and to the Redbelly community as well.
Fantastic. There's certainly alpha dropping there, folks. People, like I said, man, they have wanted this for the longest time that I've been watching the project. Like, what's going on? What are the insights? well, they're getting it now. It's a bit of a fire hose. Hopefully they know how to drink from a fire hose, because there's a lot of information that you just mentioned there. But the funds thing, that's really interesting, because it takes me back to, I've done a lot of stuff in the ETF space. I've come from TradFi as well, working in investment banks and whatnot. But like, people don't realize that tokenization, or let's say fractional ownership of things, has been something that investors have been used to. This is not something new. It's on better technology now versus the spreadsheets from back then. But people invested in ETFs. People have invested in different types of funds depending on the country that you're in. So I think it's a really interesting thing that you've got this baskets concept. That's going to be really fascinating when that starts to come out. I'm sure that people will be wanting to make and show off their baskets. Like, look at the basket I've got. Maybe you'll do things like the copy trader functions that you get in some of these other apps. So coming,
Yeah.
we're lucky that we're in blockchain now, and it's come before TradFi, because we can see the best of that old world and copy it across, right?
Exactly. It's all transparent, right? So you can actually see everything that's happening on a blockchain. I mean, there's going to be tools that just literally just say, watch this wallet, and just copy exactly what
Yeah.
it's really there. So it's a whole new world for sure. Exciting world.
It's exciting to be building. That's for sure on blockchain. Now, going back to the partnership, where do you see that growing over time?
Man, I actually, it's hard to imagine, because it's still again like day one. We still scratching the surface. We see all these green flags coming. We see institutional players coming. We see all these asset issuers coming. We see infrastructure platforms coming. What I really hope we get to is delivering value to our users, and I hope that we can actually start managing together, like over millions of users, helping them achieve financial independence, helping them diversify their portfolios, helping them bring like I said, real world or real world assets, like not like fake let's say wealth over there, right? So that is why I really hope this partnership will bring, and who knows, maybe we'll get to managing like billions of dollars together, which is where I see this going.
Yeah, I can see that too. Maybe you've already maybe this is part of it, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What are you most excited about over the next 6 to 12 months, apart from what you've just mentioned there? Because that sounds pretty exciting.
uh I would say I'm mostly excited about regulations that's coming from specifically the United States. The reason why, because tokenization has gone through three phases, or is going through three phases. Phase number one is that we needed a currency, so we actually got stable coins like USDC, USDT, USC, like all these ones. And then after that, we actually gone through another level of tokenization, which is secured structured markets and T-bills, treasuries, and so on. Which is where Biddle, BlackRock kind of made their move, and Securitize kind of done all of that. And then the third one is the other type of assets, which is like renewable energy, real estate, private credit, all of that stuff. For the past, let's say 4 or 5 years, I would say that the United States is quite important actually for any innovation, because the United States is the by far like the most forward thinking kind of country in terms of technology. So most of the countries actually follow it. So when you see all these when you see the United States struggling to actually um, regulate stable coins, like the space will struggle. Even though we have like Australia, Europe, all of them actually like making huge advancements on regulations. I would say the most important one that needs to actually make those is the United States, because then everybody will say, yeah, I'm gonna actually follow that. So the past 6 months we've seen, the crypto task force within the United States making huge advancements in the space, having a structure around regulating stable coins, and now they're actually doing the same thing for structured market and T-bills, and soon they will actually do it for real estate and treasure and private credit and renewable energy and so on. So that is what I'm quite more excited about, because I know that once the United States actually does this, the other countries will actually just unlock themselves and follow very similar structure, which is going to benefit the whole world globally.
Great answer. There's a saying, I think it's like, if the United States sneezes, other countries catch a cold. And I believe with what you described there, it is very true. Crypto became a topic of politics and elections here in Australia. We followed along, like whether they want to admit it or not. It just seems to be the case. Now, you kind of mentioned, because my next question was going to be about where can people follow and learn about the updates more. We already mentioned that. We'll put things into the show notes, I'm sure, as well. But let's talk about like upcoming events and launches that we should look out for. What are some things that you think that are upcoming? Even if it is just, hey, stay tuned, but do you have some things that people should be looking out for that you can talk about? Stay tuned.
No, stay tuned.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Look,
Okay.
people need to know we're going to do a follow-up episode on this anyway. So when we get into more details there for the Insights podcast, so this is just partner spotlight for now. So happy to
just give a little bit of a teaser.
Sure.
The next project is our biggest project just yet. It's actually, I'm quite excited about it. It's in okay, I'll give one hint, I guess. It's in Rome, and that is what is coming to the Redbelly community. So our project in Rome, our biggest project just yet, amazing yield on it, and a luxurious project, and it's coming to the community of Redbelly.
Mate, that's amazing. I didn't expect that, but yeah, hint, folks. Big things happened in Rome. New Pope. My girlfriend just came back from Italy. Amazing things, mate. That is very interesting. I'm sure you're gonna have, the community here. They do a lot of digging. They're sleuths. They're detectives. They will try to find something. So now it's a bit of a game of like, when do you release and stuff. So that's good. So people will stay tuned for that. Now, another question, do you have any messages for, let's say that there's first-time users that are checking out the platform and they've heard this, that they've liked it, and now they're starting to get in. What's a message you want them to think about as they start exploring?
The only message that I just want him to to see if we're actually delivering real value for them. If they see this platform as a way for them to generate more wealth, and later on, help them with passive income. If that delivers, I'm super happy.
Amir, this has been amazing. There's so much insights here. I think there's a lot of alpha. You gave a lot of behind the scenes stuff as to, what is going on. There's definitely going to be more. I think even though there was a lot in this that we filled out, there's still scratching the surface. There's going to be more to unpack, and we're very happy to see you coming on board and looking forward to what else is out there on the platform. I think as people watch this, they're going to jump on Roman maps. Make sure you look at modern maps, folks. Just typing in Roman maps to Google, you might see some old stuff there. Might not be where it is, although the Colosseums are still there. But Amir, thank you so much for your time. I know it's early over there, but yeah, we're looking forward to chatting with you further.
Likewise, appreciate your time as well, and thanks for all the Redbelly community who has been tuning in, and I look forward to helping you guys make your first investment on Metawealth.
Fantastic. Folks, learn more about Metawealth with all the links, and yeah, feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you.